happening?
Good day you're in town, huh?
Yeah. Questions?
Can you make a judgment on if your defense improved?
Yeah, it improved the first half. We didn't guard as hard the second half, obviously. The first half, I thought we did a pretty good job. We closed lanes better. We got in lanes better. You know, we made it harder for them to find people. I mean, we still do things. They run the same deal and get the same guy open in a corner 4 times in a row. That should never happen. You know, they run a great set and they get it once. You know, maybe they get it on you twice, but come on, the third time you don't make a rotation, much less the fourth time. And we still don't rebound the ball well enough. Too many balls bounce off our hands.
Is it gonna
We
help
just
you?
do some inexcusable things, like you know, not rebound the ball on the foul line. It's inexcusable. When we got 4 in line, they got 2. Those are things I think that we got to keep harping on, keep getting better at.
Is it gonna help you against some of the other teams that play all guard forward offenses to have this experience where you're having to play your zones?
How the hell do I know? I don't know. I mean, you would hope so, but I don't know.
Coach, are you happy to see your wife finally get the 3-pointer?
He was. Because I think he reads your column religiously.
I wonder.
And, yeah, he was starting to be offended. So. Well, Bacon, I sat there before the game, and he made 13 in a row, and he made 17 out of 18, and I quit counting. So, I mean, he's capable. He just said, he told me honestly, he told me before the game, he said, I just want to make one so these people get off my back. I think you were part of those people, maybe. I don't know.
I've been part of those people.
How's that make you feel?
Depends on the day.
Bob, we talk a little bit about the running mentality that this team seems to have as compared, I mean, they're pretty much the same people who are running, but as compared to last year and why that has changed so much.
Honestly, because we passed the ball this year. It's a lot easier for guys to run when they think they're going to get the ball because they ran, rather than running down there and standing and some guy dribbling it, you know, shooting it behind the backboard, doing those kind of crazy things. But it's so much better together. They're so much more unselfish.
Does it, I think it was Aaron said that a big part of it is last year you had people who could run, you had a running mentality, but you had big guys that for whatever reason seemed to want to slow it down. Now you got young big guys who are taking off.
Well, you know, in defense of Dennis, who I think everybody would point at, Dennis ran early and never got the ball. So why would he continue to run? You know, Devin ran today, and I don't think he thought he was going to get it when he makes a great pass to him, and he drops it out of bounds. And he comes back to the bench. He's like, listen, you know, if you want people to throw you the ball, catch it. But I think the reason that we're running better is because guys are running. And we had that mentality a year ago, Bob, and all honesty, we'd run the 3-point line, it was like your dog in an invisible fence. You know, just put the brakes on right there, couldn't cross it. Run for threes, I've got to run to score a layup once. And we never did. You know, they just, I can make them do it in practice in the game and start and get to that 3-point line and stop. And the thing about all those guys stopping couldn't make them either, by the way. You know, I don't mind Aaron Terry and those guys stopping. They can make them.
Oh, it went well tonight. What about a crowd of 4,000?
Probably didn't get enough publicity in Charleston. I don't know, man. You know, I've tried to do everything that I can do to, you know, because it's fun. I mean, it's fun when the students show up. They have great enthusiasm. You know, our students are getting ready to leave. Some of them probably have left, so they're not going to be here. I don't know. I mean, I told our students there. I mean, we honestly we have this notion of what great fans we are, and great fans come all the time. Great fans come see their team, they don't come see the other team. They come see their team. Now, we do have some great fans. Don't get me wrong. We do have some great fans, but we obviously don't have 14,000 of them.
Coach, Gary seems to be getting back into the swing of things. Terry seems to be getting back. What's this offense? What's the max potential for this offense, and especially, maybe later on in the season, once the opponents start to become a little bit more competitive, what's the potential for the offense in a situation like that?
Well, we've got to continue to work with our bigs. You know, Justin, you've got to be able to have somebody you can throw close to. And we have to continue to work with those guys. And Devin's getting better. His feel's getting better. He's not putting his head down trying to score every time. He's throwing it out to other guys and doing some things. Well, we've also got to be able to mismatch like Nate. You play Nate at 3. Sometimes he's going to have a 6'1" guy guarding him. We've got to be able to be smart enough to be able to spread and get him the ball in a mismatch situation. He's also a very good free throw shooter, so he's not a guy that you can foul when he goes down there. I just, we can't go too fast. We can't go too fast and skip over things, and then at the end of the year not get any better. We've got to kind of build it as best we can from the ground up.
Well, about Nathan, you have said all along that you knew he could shoot the ball, but especially in the first half tonight, I mean, he filled up the box score line in like the first 10 minutes here. Is that something you expected from him this early, or is he kind of maybe ahead of the curve?
I knew he could shoot the ball, Dave. He shot the ball really well in the AU, the pick and pop stuff. Shot it really well. And I've said this a bunch of times. I mean, if I'm Tom Yester, I'm not having him out guarding little guys that get in foul trouble. And they need him in the game. And so, consequently, this is all new for him. And, Nate's a good kid. He's a smart kid. And so he'll continue to get better. He'll continue to figure out how to keep, smaller, quicker guys in front of him. But I don't know, does that answer your question? It's something you can write anyways, even if it doesn't answer your question.
It doesn't matter. I can turn it in and you get it.
Well, I know. I've seen that.
Chicken salad.
I've seen that.
The decisions Juwan is making now, are they any different than the decisions he made last year with the ball, or is it just the guys are playing better around him?
I think we're more spread, Justin, so he's able to do, I think, some more things. I think for one he had for whatever reason, he would beat a guy and then he'd stop and kind of let the guy catch up. He just didn't. He didn't continue to attack the rim. And, that's something that we talk to him about all the time, is continue to stay aggressive, continue to attack. And He feels, I think he's more comfortable with what's going on. He knows more where guys are. I think Tony gave a stat, 31 assists and 4 turnovers or something like that. It's a pretty good point guard.
Bob, some of the things you said about defensive rebounding are virtually identical to what they said back there when we spoke to them. And it sounds like that maybe it comes with being a really good offensive team, that you think you've got a greater margin for error because you can score so many points, and maybe things lack in other areas just because of that. Is that like a period of adjustment for you guys because it is so much different than it was last year with just the ease of offense?
Well, we're the worst defensive team in the Big 12 statistically. Now, you know, that's skewed a little bit because we play faster than a lot of people do. So, you know, there are going to be more possessions because we're playing a lot faster. But still, I told them to start the year, I think we gave up 68 points a game a year ago. Kansas State gave up 60, which is, you know, right about where we were kind of the years before. They tied for the league championship and we finished, whatever it was, 7th or 8th, whatever it was. We've got to guard better. Now, that being said, it's not always points per game because the more possession you have, certainly the more the other team's going to score too. And the more spread you get, probably the higher the field goal percentage is going to be. But we can't hold people to whatever it was, 27% in the first half and turn around and give up 55 in the second half. Because we played the same way.
Did Staten do anything tonight that made you say, holy cow, what? Something like that, I mean.
Not really, Bob, because I've seen it every day. The great thing about wanting to this point is he hasn't changed. You know, he came in with a terrific attitude. He still has a terrific attitude. His work ethic hasn't changed. He's really taken it upon himself to know what we want done, to know what the other team wants to do. And, you know, the guys that I've had have been like that, have been pretty good players. And, you know, they're guys you can trust. You don't want to trust guys that don't know what they're doing.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.